So, today we're gonna talk about the Fairy Tale's Daughter by Carolyn Swanson. So today's book is this book is young adult, is 420 pages long. Okay, so also it has one chapter for the next book, which will come out mid-summer of this year. So yeah, you have an extra chapter for the next book. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This book doesn't take place on a specific time, because it's like fantasy and stuff, so like it's not a specific time for us. It's a fantasy in a fantasy place. But the book takes place in the kingdom of Prince Charming and Cinderella. Get it? Cinderella. It's Cinderella. Okay, it's in their kingdom because now they're king and queen. Because now they're king and queen. The main character's name is Aylin, but sometimes they call her Lan, and she's about to turn 18. But this book has a lot of characters. Okay, it's a lot. It's not the main character is her though. The main character is Aylin, but it has a lot of more characters. The book is told in the third person, but it has several points of view. So the story is about Aylin, who is the daughter of Prince Charming and Cinderella, who I already said are queen and king respectively. So since Aylin is about to turn 19, she has to go to this school for princesses, which is the school for princesses who will teach princesses to become better princesses, because that's the way it is. So once in the school, Aylin finds out about a secret that's been in her family for ever, pretty much. Well, since it's been in the family for a long time. And she didn't know about this secret until she's in the school, and then she finds out about the secret from a book, a magic book that her godmother gives her, and it's a magic book that nobody can read because it was written with invisible ink that only the person who is supposed to read it can see the stories. And also the stories just show up whenever it's time for Aylin to find out about them. Also, the secret that she discovers, pretty much everybody knew about this secret except her. Yeah. It's a secret that everybody knows, but nobody says anything about, and then she realizes, oh shit, okay, this is why people were talking in a snooty way, or this is why people were, I found them to be kind of like really asshole-ish and towards her dad and stuff when it comes to, well, yeah, but I can't tell you. So finding out about this secret makes Aylin, of course, like upset at her parents, like she gets pissed off. And also it kind of, I guess she realizes that it makes her life more difficult in this school because everybody knows it. So the book has multiple stories, okay, and she finds out the stories throughout the story in this book. Some of these stories go back many generations, so you learn a lot about this world and these families through the story, but within the book, inside the story. So because of this book, Aylin discovers not only secrets about her family, but secrets about other families as well, and secrets about the past in all their families. So it's like this, it's just like it doesn't stop. It keeps coming, fucking secrets on top of more secrets on top of more secrets. that it's not only that not only affect her, and then she has people telling her secrets as well. So it's like, oh shit, like it's just secrets. Aelin is like fucking getting secrets are getting thrown at Aelin left and right because she is the daughter of Prince Charming and Cinderella. Trouble finds her, of course, and then because Trouble finds her, she is forced to make this decision that is not like she wants to make this decision, but she has to kind of make this decision because it not only affects her, it affects other people. And yeah, pretty much that's what it is. That's all I can say without spoiling it. So now let's go to the pros of this book. So the book, in my opinion, was well written, and it was an easy read. Even though it's big, it was an easy read. It was not like pretentious and shit. Like, well, at least in my opinion, I don't think it was. It was pretentious, and because it's young adult, I think that the young audience will be able to relate to these characters because the majority of them are young people of 18 and stuff. So yeah, so I think it's good, and it would be safe for kids who are like 13 and plus to read it because, for example, it doesn't have sexual scenes, it doesn't have any of that, so it would be a safe book to read if you are not into reading books that have sex scenes. I mean, yeah, if you're not into books with explicit sexual content, then yeah, this book can be for you, or for a young person if you're buying it for a young person, or if you're a young person yourself and you don't wanna. Okay, you get it. It doesn't have any sex in it. Okay, yeah, there you go. The magic elements in this book, I found them I found them new and interesting. And also another thing that I consider a pro for this book was that, you know how sometimes you're introduced to something in a book and then you think, oh, maybe I should remember this thing because maybe later on this thing will matter. Like, for example, they say, oh my god, and there was a pen. And then you're like, oh shit, I need to remember this fucking pen. I need to remember which color it was and stuff like that. And then later on you find out that this whole entire scene that was entirely about this fucking pen didn't have any meaning because this fucking pen was never used again. Like, never. So you're like, but I remember the pen. Like, why are you telling me something else about the pen? And in this book, there are things that she introduces, and later on, even one of them I remember, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna mean shit. I'm not gonna be they're not gonna fool me this time. And I forgot about it, and then later on this object was brought up and I was like, oh, okay, yay. But it's not, it's so there are things that she introduces, or magical things that she introduces, and she utilizes them in the story. So thank you for doing that. Yay. So if you love fairy tales, this book can provide you with a different point of view about what happened after the happily ever after, or maybe what happened even before the happily ever after even came to be. So I think this book could be an addition to fairy tales, like, oh shit, okay, because it doesn't just have it's not just the story of Prince Charming and Cinderella, like what happened after they married. It has more stories in it about other characters and different takes on stories about other characters, which are interesting. I enjoyed that. Yeah. Another thing that I liked about this book was that in the beginning they say, oh my god, is this the secret and the secret and the secret and the secret, and I was like, what the fuck is the secret? And I thought, oh, please don't tell me, don't tell me they're going to tell me about this secret until, you know, the end of the book, until I'm 5 pages from finishing this book and you're gonna tell me this fucking secret. And then I was looking at the back cover and the secret is right there. And I thought, oh my fucking god, she messed up so bad. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you spilling the secret right here? Like, I don't even have to read this fucking book anymore because you spilled the secret, right? So that's what I thought. But no. Like, almost right away, she told me what the secret was. And I was like, oh, okay, so I guess it didn't really matter. That's on the back cover. Okay, right? Like, it didn't really matter. So I kept reading, and then there's more stuff, more secrets, and she just spills that shit too. She's like, yeah, there you go. The secret, and then like 3 pages later, this was the secret. And I was very pleasantly surprised that she was not trying to keep me hooked in the story just with the secret. Like, oh my god, I want you. Yes, you want to know what it is, right? You want to know. Okay, haha. Just wait until the end of the book. No, she just kept spilling secrets. She just kept spilling them, and just kept the fucking story moving. And I really appreciate that so much, because she was not keeping me reading because I wanted to know what this was about. She kept me reading because of the story, not because of the fucking secret. You did great. Yay. I usually don't like stories within stories because I find them distracting and boring, to be honest with you. Like, sometimes writers just go and then they're in the middle of the good stuff and then they're like, oh no, hold on, let me tell you this other thing. And I'm like, what the I don't care, man. Just keep telling me this. I don't care about this other thing or this backstory or whatever, because they just caught it right in the middle of the action or the good stuff to tell me about this crap. And that's why I don't like stories within stories. Like, whenever the quantum of the pistol. So in this book, she has another book, but the thing about this is she found a way to merge them together in a way that doesn't feel like she's interrupting the main story to tell you this other subplot or whatever. So she found a really nice way to just seamlessly combine the stories in the book with the stories in the magic book in the book. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I really appreciated that, because when she said, oh my god, this book and it has the stories, and I was like, oh god, no, please, no, don't tell me this girl is going to be reading this book. And then lo and behold, there was the book open with the new story, but it was utilized in a way that it's not boring, and it doesn't make me be like, oh please, just fucking burn this book. Like, I don't care. So I really appreciate that she took the time to merge them together and make it interesting to, yeah. I really appreciated that. So yay for Carolyn again. And also she utilized the stories in the magic book to keep the ball moving, to keep the story moving and stuff like that. Okay, now the cons of this book. Like always, I wish it had been shorter, but I always want books to be shorter anyway, so I don't think this is really a con. This is just me. I wish the writer had provided us in this book with a page with the names of all the characters and to which family they belong, because it was hard for me to keep up with because like I said, goes back generations, right? Like the stories and stuff, they go back generations, so many generations. So it was difficult for me to keep up with the great great grandparents and the great great grandmothers and the great grandparents and the grandparents and the parents, and it was difficult because it's not just one family, it's many families. And these secrets and these stories, they all are like, it's about a lot of people. So sometimes it reminded me a little bit of 100 Years of Solitude, in which there is so many people with a lot with the same names, and it just goes back to a lot of generations. So I had to to be able to read and understand 100 Years of Solitude. I had to make a list of all the members of the family and who they were, what generation they were, and stuff, and I keep that in that book, so to make it easier for me to read it, because the story is good, but sometimes it's like, who the fuck is this? Or sometimes it's like, wait, whose great great grandparent was this? Like, from, like, was it from this? It was there, was he Aylin's great great grandparent? Like, so it is like, sometimes it became difficult for me to read because of that. I wish she had added that, so that I could be like, oh, okay, yeah, if I had a question, or if I was wondering who the fuck this person was, so I could go to the back of the book and be like, oh, okay, so it's this person, thank you, okay, let me continue my story. That's the only thing I wish, because it's so many people. As I was reading it, I thought this book was a standalone book, and as I was reading it, I realized, oh no, this is a series, because it's so many characters. So I was like, oh no, this is a series. And yeah, the more characters are introduced. So yeah, I wish she had added that at the end of the book, just a list explaining who is who, and I would have been cool with that. This is kind of like half a con and half a pro, because the story didn't end in a cliffhanger, which I appreciate, because I hate stories that end in a cliffhanger and I cannot get the book right away, the next one. But I wish the ending of the main characters of this story had a longer conclusion than the one that was shown. I wish I had known more of what happened after the events and stuff like that. But I guess we're going to find out in the next book, which comes out in mid-summer of this year. That's it for the pros and cons. So would I recommend it? Yes. Because I think it's a nice addition to fairy tale stories, like the traditional fairy tale stories. Would I read it again? Yes. Yes, I would. Yes. And I found that it was it's complementary. It complements, like, this book complements these books, the villain books. I don't know why it's even though I hated some of this, but they complement each other like really well. So I was like, oh, okay, so I'm getting a really big collection of fairy tales. So if you like fairy tales, if you like independent princesses, if you like new takes on traditional fairy tales, if you like romance, this might be the book for you. Might be. I don't know. It's up to you. So if you want to buy the FAIRYTALE'S Daughter, it's available on Amazon. Yay! Yeah. Next one is called The King's Son. Ooh! I hope it's about her brother, about Aylin's brother. It's just me. I hope it's about her. I mean, about him. About him. That's it for this book. Thank you for your time. Bye.